Merry Meet and welcome to Jupiter's Radiance. I'm Taylor and we're going to be discussing what I'm calling the compost pile. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So this card spread is for the second week of November, and it is to support when you're feeling like you need to be more proactive in your development but still need space. And so I'll go ahead and break down each one and then kind of discuss it a little bit more because I feel that their placements and meanings describe the goal here and we'll jump into it. And so we have one at the very top of the pile. We have what you're adding this season. And so something about a compost pile, actually let's just talk about it. Something about a compost pile is that you add to it, and then yes, there is sometimes turning. A lot of times people use worms though, to where it's just left alone. You just add worms and water when it's a little dry, and you just keep adding to it, and then at a certain point you have to leave portions of it alone so that it actually truly develops into compost and into something that can be usable again. And so with that takes time. It is not even done necessarily in a single season. Sometimes it can take a couple of seasons. And so we want to give grace here for ourselves and recognize, like, okay, what am I needing to work on right now so that I feel proactive in my development, but so that I'm not picking at things that are still harmful to me. And so that's why one is what you're adding to this season. And that means that this is something where it's like, it's definitely, do not touch it. It is so fresh. It is, well, you know, as fresh as compost as the top of a compost pile can be. But the point is that it is not something that you can use to help fertilize the rest of your ground at this point. And so it's best left alone. And so then we have it too is going to be the past aspect that you're still processing. So this is also one where it's still just a little bit fresh, but maybe you keep going back to it. And this is probably the one that is more like, oh, I need to be over this already. And so this is going to be the one where it's like, recognize that you can give yourself more grace and more time before heading back on this to reflect. And then 3 is going to be the past aspect that you're ready to reflect on. So this is fertile ground. It's in the middle of the compost pile. It has all the stuff on top of it that has allowed it to become what it needs to be in order for you to now reflect and grow from it. And then we have number 4. This is what can no longer affect you. So this is at the back of the compost pile. It's someone may know a better term for this because I'm sure it's not just considered dirt again, but essentially this is like, it's just ground. Like this isn't this situation. If you're still coming up to this, you've moved past this, so you don't need to keep reflecting on this bit anymore. It's been done at this point. So with that, let's go ahead and just jump into our collective reading. These cards tend to be a little bit deeper, so definitely take what resonates, and feel free as always to try these card spreads for yourself in your own decks so that you can get a more personalized message regarding your development and what areas to give yourself grace in. All right, so number 1, what we're adding this season. So we have Apollo and Alchemy, cleanse, lifestyle choices, detox, and nourishment. And so this is telling me what is being put on the top of the pile is the fact that you are trying to restart a little bit too much. Like you're trying to have too many beginnings, and you're trying to make too many changes at once. And so to give yourself a little bit more grace, kind of make one choice at a time is going to be more of the message for this card. But also with this is you may have ideas around how you want your life to change. It's not necessarily saying you have to implement any yet, more to continue considering them. And then also to consider where you're gaining your nourishment from. Like, are these ideas being founded in a place of the heart? Are they being founded in a place of like fear? And just kind of recognize a little bit more of the situation. You can observe it for longer before you actually make the changes. Okay, and so this past aspect that you're still processing is going to be turquoise and forget-me-nots. balance, cracking open, deep healing, balancing karma. Okay, so with this, do not expect yourself to be completely balanced yet. You are working on it. Something to note, so if you, I know we don't have tarot cards here right now, but if you look at the card of Temperance, and it is also a card known for alchemy, in order to truly alchemize something, there are two cups that move back and forth, so as if they had two different liquids in them, that move back and forth. And that is how you truly alchemize it, is that in between the two, until they are significantly mixed up, there is this feeling of kind of like backtracking, going forward, backtracking, going forward. But really that is how you create true change for yourself and integrate new lifestyle choices. And so in order to achieve true balance, there has to be some grace in the fact that you're going to have back steps, because you have to take those back steps in order to take true steps forward. Okay? So just give yourself grace is the biggest part of that. Is like, do not expect yourself to be perfect and balanced at this time. Allow yourself to be playful in that energy of, oh, this is working for me, this isn't, and just able to make those changes when they seem easy to make, essentially. So now let's go ahead and talk about what past aspect is ready to be reflected upon. And so we have the Empress trait, catalyst for change, clarity, freedom, unbinding. So this is very interesting because a lot of this is really about creating significant changes to better support yourself. And so in this moment, the part that, okay, to correlate this back to cleanse, because in cleansing, there is the sense that you are releasing. And there also can sometimes be a little bit of a shame for the things that you crave and want for yourself, especially when using the word detox. And so this is letting you know, like, hey, don't place so much judgments on top of yourself. But the thing to go ahead and do is to the things that are so clear to you that are going to support you in gaining more freedom for yourself. Those are the changes where it's like follow through with those elements. And that's also why you're still working on the balance, because there's something to be said around the fact that change is uncomfortable. And so it is hard to be balanced in change. And so it is okay to focus on the things that you want for yourself at this time and to work at gaining those, in addition to focusing on where that information is coming from and the nourishment that you're needing. So these are both more on the background, is the balance and the cleanse. Like, you're going to work to it, right? This is the focus now, then comes balance, and then comes cleansing, to where you're able to settle more into the lifestyle choices that you've made. All right, let's go ahead and take a look into what can no longer affect you. And so we have blue kyanite and honeysuckle, sword of truth. So funny because it's the same word, freedom. We have warrior of light, stop holding yourself back. So what can no longer affect you is you're no longer holding yourself back. I'm obsessed with this right now because I love that we have the thing to focus on right now is unbinding. And then what can no longer affect you is that you're holding yourself back. And so the other thing about this is you are able to see more of the truth of the situation. You are able to be more honest with yourself. And that is where a lot of this, where this catalyst is coming from, is that you are no longer able to kind of pull the wool over your eyes in regards to what you need or want in your life. And so now you're able to pursue it much more clearly because you have gained that truth for yourself. All right, I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Definitely feel free to comment below what is resonating or coming up for you if you're using this card spread for yourself. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more weekly card spreads. And I will see you guys next week. Blessed be.